Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Welcome to Sketchbook Sunday, and today we are going to sketch a loose, messy bouquet in our sketchbook. And I was inspired by the little brush practice piece I did last night. I went through all of my watercolor brushes except for my teaching stash, and I organized them, and I found some old favorites, and I was playing with those, making little flowers, and I shared the picture on Instagram, and some folks asked me if I would consider doing something similar for that for Sketchbook Sunday, and I thought, hey, that sounds like a great idea. I'm using my new Polish watercolors that I got from a little creative on Etsy, and they are a Maine-based company, so it's always nice to support the local economy, and I'll link to their shop down below. I added some new half pans from their collection as well down the center of the tin there, and the tin is really nice because it's compact, and I can also put a brush in the edge, and I'm going to cut a little sponge to put in that little gap that I have so I can blot my brush when I'm painting outside. So the first flower I'm doing here is a delphinium, and honestly, I love the way this flower turned out, and I kind of just wished that I did this flower and just this flower. So I'm going to have to do that on a greeting card or something because it was so much fun to paint. And I'm using a little triangle brush that I recently bought at Jerry's Artorama, and it was so funny. I bought a couple different sizes. They were really cheap on sale, and I got them, and I was painting with them, and I'm like, well, I just got all of these brushes are bad because I just cannot paint a flower with them. It turns out it was me. Just with a little practice, it got much better. So if you have a triangle brush, stick with it. It takes practice and there is a learning curve involved. And if you would like a little bit more help with your watercolor flower painting, if you want to loosen up and get better at your brush control and stroke work, please consider checking out my new watercolor flower workshop. Blah, blah, blah. Can't seem to talk today. Watercolor flower workshop. It is 50% off with the coupon code FlowerPower through the end of June 2018. So you got about another week to save on that class if you want to take it, and you have lifetime access to get it done. So if you can't take it right away, that's fine. Buy it while it's on sale and take it when you can. So this is just like a little stargazer lily I'm painting here. I'm using a Quill, which is a brush I've had for probably about 20 years. And if you take care of your watercolor brushes, guys, they will last you forever. So so keep that in mind. This was a gift from my mom quite a long time ago. And I really like how I can carry a lot of paint, and I can paint a bunch of leaves and buds, and you know, just very how thick or thin my brush stroke is just by how much I press on the brush. And pretty much any good round will give you that ability. So try it with what you have. Now I am picking up some of the watered down pink with my dagger, and I decided to put a bow to kind of tie all my stems together. I want this to kind of be like a messy bouquet, and I wanted to get that bow in there before I filled the area, because with watercolor you are you kind of have to I'm not really planning things out, but I've got to kind of work within the white space because the white of the paper is the white in my paint. And I mean, there is a little tablet of white in this set, which is actually quite opaque, but I wouldn't be able to like put a flower on top of another flower. It's not that opaque, and it would mix in with what's underneath, like any gouache or watercolor would. So if you're doing this in acrylics, you totally could build and layer on top of each other, but with watercolor, I've got to kind of make sure if there's an element that I want to be a certain area, I need to make sure I paint that in there so I don't end up losing that space. And I want to have a poppy kind of in the center, although I kind of regretted doing that in a bright red because red is very dominant and it can take over the scene really easily. But I was also kind of sticking with a red and blue theme, so I didn't do it intentionally, but it ended up being kind of like a red and blue theme there. So I thought, well, you know what, that's kind of nice because the 4th of July will be next week, and or in 2 weeks, and that would be very appropriate. So I thought I would put a few more of those red flowers because I did feel like that red poppy just kind of was like, bam, here I am, red poppy, look at me, don't look at anything else. So I decided to use that dagger brush to do little poppy buds, and then put some little bits of green around it, like the poppy flower was just opening up and you're just starting to see that bud peek out. And I have one of those snakehead unbloomed poppies there too. Now I'm putting in some stems because I felt like I needed some more blue to balance out this composition, and I'm putting in some little leaves as well. Now this is for the forget-me-nots that I'm going to put in there, and forget-me-nots are kind of a funny flower. I actually saw some when I was out painting in plein air the other day, and they're smaller than than what I thought, because the only ones I had seen before were in photographs, and I thought they were much bigger than they are, and they're actually really small. That is if the flowers I saw that I think were forget-me-nots are forget-me-nots. So I thought that would be a really nice little filler flower, kind of like how you might use baby's breath in an arrangement, but on white paper, baby's breath really wouldn't show up that well, especially with all these really dominant colors. So I decided some small forget-me-nots would, fill a big amount of the area where I don't really have room for any other larger blooms. So that's what I was doing there. And then I picked up some watery kind of magenta paint with my wedge brush, and then I dipped the tip of it in the magenta cake of color, and I just did some quick little triangle brush petals, which, oh my gosh, I just love this. Don't they kind of look like cyclamen, the way that the petals go? I didn't really think of cyclamen when I did it, and I wish I had, because I would have made the stems come out a little bit differently when I get to that, but I just really love how fluid those wedge brushes are. And I'm going to give you another tip, and here I'm using the wedge brush again in that same fashion, just with a lighter yellow and then tipped in a darker yellow to do buttercups. The thing that I've realized with these wedge brushes, they seem to have a lot more sizing in them when you get them, and they take a little breaking in. So these brushes I've been using a lot. I've been doing like pages and pages of brush strokes, I mean like serious practice, and they get better the more you use them. So if you've got a brush, actually if you have any brush that you're just really frustrated with, that doesn't seem to be flexible enough or just giving you the results you want, keep painting with it, because it will probably soften up and become a little bit better for you. I don't know if you just heard that my stomach grumbled. Hopefully that didn't show up on the microphone. So now I'm just taking some mud from my palette. Basically I mixed up the green and the red and whatever else I had hanging out there to make some just some brown stems, and I threw them in the base of the ribbon part of the bouquet. And then I picked up some of the hooker's green. I think it looks like hooker's green. They might have a different name for it in the Polish palette there, but I wanted to make some of the leaves from the lilies a little bit more dominant, because everything was kind of this light spring green, and I felt like it just needed a little bit more variety to make the composition to come together. Because at this point, honestly, I'm kind of thinking, wow, this is getting to be a little bit chaotic, which it is. It's very chaotic. You probably don't want to put this much in there, but I was playing, and that's what Sketchbook Sunday is all about. It's about throwing on a podcast and just playing in my sketchbook and not really planning too much or caring about how it comes out too much, just having fun. When I have a hot mess, when I have a mistake, I could choose not to post it, but I honestly feel that you seeing me work through some difficulties will help you in your painting, because you'll know, oh, that's how you fix it if it messes up. Now, that red was just too dominant in the middle, so I picked up some of the white, which is a titanium white, very much like a gouache in this set. I would probably just get a tube of gouache, titanium white, for any time you need this sort of thing, but that way I can soften those brighter colors and kind of temper them a little bit and make them fit the rest of the composition a little bit better. You don't have to do that, but I just felt that my picture needed that. I also decided to add some pen to my work here, and this is the Jane Davenport Incredible pen, and I fill it with a fountain pen safe India ink, and I'll link that down below because it is kind of tricky to find. And I hadn't used my pen in a while, so what I did was I dipped it in water and wiped it, and that got the ink flowing so I could use it again. So if you go a while between using your fountain pen, sometimes the ink in the nib will dry. You just need to get it going and it's going to be fine. So don't fret about that. So I just basically went through and enhanced any areas that I felt got a little lost in the composition, like the like some of the leaves and ribbon, and basically just tried to sweeten it up a little bit. You don't have to do this, but I think it's kind of fun. And I also like to go through with some white pen sometimes if I've used black, just to brighten up some certain areas. Now I know this was a crazy, wild, fast video, but if you would like some more real-time, in-depth instruction in a more relaxed setting, you can check out my watercolor flower workshop. There's always a 30-day money-back guarantee with any of my classes, and the student work so far that has been popping up in the class is absolutely delightful, and it's a lot of fun, and it will really help you practice those brush strokes so that you can sit down and create from your imagination whenever you want, because you'll know the strokes to make. You're going to instinctively know the flowers, because once you've learned them, they stick in your memory once you remember the strokes, and it's so much fun to paint loosely from your imagination. I want to thank you so much for joining me on Sketchbook Sunday. I hope you have some time to work in your sketchbook today. Please give me a thumbs up before you go, and until next time, happy crafting!